Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to me very carefully. You've been running, haven't you? Running after people, after success, after recognition, believing that if you don't chase, you'll miss your chance. But here's the truth no one tells you. The blessings meant for you are already on their way. The more you chase, the further they drift. The more you force, the more resistance you create. But when you stand still, when you breathe, when you allow, life begins to unfold its treasures in ways you never imagined. If you listen closely till the end, you'll discover why the things you've been desperately reaching for have not yet arrived, and how they will come to you with far greater force once you stop clinging. That is why you must stay, because your entire life's turning point may depend on this realization. The nature of waiting is one of life's most overlooked truths, and yet it is where the greatest wisdom lies. We live in a world that glorifies rushing, striving, and constantly pushing forward. Everywhere you look, you're told that you must chase after your goals relentlessly, that you must demand from life what you want, that you must move faster or else you will fall behind. But there is a quiet secret, one that the noise of the world tries to drown out. The richest blessings of life are not caught through endless chasing. They are received when you learn how to wait. Waiting is not inactivity. It is alignment. Waiting is not laziness. It is preparation. Waiting is not weakness. It is trust. When we wait, something profound begins to happen. Life has its own rhythm, its own timing, its own seasons. Just as you cannot force winter to turn into spring before its time, you cannot demand that blessings bloom before their moment has come. If you try, you only exhaust yourself. Imagine a farmer standing over his field, shouting at the soil, demanding the seed to sprout this very instant. It sounds absurd, yet this is how many of us live, desperate, impatient, unable to trust that what has been planted will grow when the time is right. Waiting is the invisible soil in which blessings take root. The beauty of waiting is that it transforms you even as it holds you still. Most people fear waiting because they believe nothing is happening. But in truth, waiting is shaping you, polishing you, teaching you patience, humility, and resilience. While you are waiting, your strength is quietly forming, your heart is being refined, your perspective is being expanded. You may not see it in the moment, but waiting is preparing you to hold the weight of the very blessings you long for. Without the waiting, you would not be ready when they arrive. Consider the rhythm of music. What makes music beautiful is not only the notes, but also the pauses between them. If a song had no pauses, no silence, it would be nothing more than chaotic noise. The pauses are what give shape and meaning to the melody. In the same way, the pauses of waiting in your life are not interruptions. They are part of the greater composition. They create the space for blessings to enter at precisely the right moment, so that when they arrive, they harmonize perfectly with your life. But waiting does not mean passively sitting in despair. It means living fully in the present, knowing that the future is already unfolding. It means tending to your mind, your body, your soul, so that when the doors open, you are prepared to walk through them. Waiting is active faith. It is choosing not to settle for less just to quiet your impatience. It is choosing to believe that what is meant for you will not pass you by. It is choosing to let life's timing be wiser than your own. The greatest challenge in waiting is the illusion of control. We believe we can control everything. Outcomes, people, timing, circumstances. But life has a way of reminding us that control is fragile, that certainty is an illusion. The more you try to clutch tightly, the more life slips through your fingers. Waiting asks you to release that illusion, to unclench your fists, to trust that the unfolding of events is not against you but working in your favor. This release is not easy. It feels like surrender, and it is. But surrender not as defeat, surrender as liberation. And here lies the paradox. When you stop forcing, when you stop demanding, when you stop chasing desperately, blessings flow toward you more naturally than ever before. It is as if life was waiting for you to step aside, to stop blocking the current with your restless striving, so it could deliver what was already on its way. By waiting, you open the gates. By waiting, you step into alignment with the greater rhythm of the universe. The nature of waiting also reveals a deeper truth. Not everything you want is what you truly need. Sometimes the reason blessings are delayed is because what you are asking for is too small, too limited, too unworthy of the potential within you. Waiting is not a punishment, it is protection. Life is keeping you from what is lesser, so it can prepare you for what is greater. What feels like emptiness may be the clearing of space for something much larger than your imagination. Gratitude in waiting is what transforms the experience. To wait in bitterness is to poison yourself. To wait in faith and gratitude is to elevate yourself. Each day you wake up, even while the blessing hasn't arrived, you can choose to be grateful that life is still shaping you, that the story is still unfolding, that you have not yet reached the final chapter. Gratitude turns waiting into receiving. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance, from desperation to peace. Waiting is not a pause in your journey, it is the journey itself. Greater blessings await, but they do not come when you chase them with fear. They come when you are still enough to let them arrive, when you are patient enough to trust, when you are wise enough to allow life to move at its own pace. Waiting is not wasted time, it is sacred time. And when the blessings finally come, you will see that they were not late at all. They were right on time, arriving in the exact moment you were ready to hold them. The illusion of control is perhaps one of the greatest traps the human mind falls into. From the moment we are old enough to desire something, we are taught that if we try hard enough, push hard enough, and plan well enough, we can bend the world to our will. Society feeds us the idea that everything is in our hands, that the more we manipulate, force, and strive, the more certain we are of securing our desires. But life has a way of showing us otherwise. Again and again, circumstances spiral beyond our grasp, people behave in ways we never expected, and events unfold in directions we could not predict. And in those moments of chaos, we are reminded that our control was never real. It was merely a comforting illusion. Think of the countless hours people spend worrying, plotting, and holding on tightly to outcomes. They believe that if they just think hard enough, calculate carefully enough, or stress long enough, they can guarantee the future. Yet notice what happens. The more tightly you try to hold something, the more it slips away. Control is like trying to clutch water in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the faster it escapes between your fingers. What remains is not security, but exhaustion. True blessings rarely arrive in the timelines we demand, and they rarely take the exact shape we envision. You may set your heart on a particular outcome, only to watch it collapse despite your best efforts. But often, if you look back later, you'll see that what replaced it was far greater than what you thought you wanted. The collapse wasn't failure, it was redirection. This is why clinging so desperately to control blocks life's flow. You focus on one door so intensely that you miss the others opening silently around you. By insisting that blessings come in your way and your time, you blind yourself to the greater way and the greater timing already moving toward you. There is a subtle arrogance hidden in the illusion of control. It is the belief that we always know what's best for us, that our limited perspective is enough to decide how life should unfold. But pause for a moment and reflect. How many times have you been grateful for things not going according to your plan? How many times has what you thought was a setback turned out to be a blessing in disguise? This is the humility life tries to teach us, that our vision, no matter how sharp, is still narrow compared to the vast intelligence guiding everything. The truth is, control is a form of fear. We try to control because we are terrified of uncertainty, terrified of being vulnerable, terrified of surrendering to what we cannot predict. But here lies the irony. The very fear that drives us to control is the very thing that steals our peace. The more you attempt to micromanage life, the more restless you become. You lose sleep, you lose joy, you lose presence, because your mind is constantly trying to script the future. Yet the future will not be scripted by your fear. It will arrive in its own way, carrying its own surprises. The great shift happens when you realize that control is not the path to security, but the barrier to it. Security does not come from manipulating circumstances. It comes from trusting that you can move with them. Freedom is not gained by holding tighter. It is discovered by letting go. This does not mean becoming careless or abandoning responsibility. It means doing your part, but releasing the need to dictate the outcome. It means planting the seed, nurturing it, and then trusting the season to bring the harvest. You cannot pull the sun higher in the sky, nor can you rush the rain from the clouds. But you can prepare your soil and wait, knowing that nature will complete its cycle without your interference. When you loosen your grip on control, something remarkable happens. Space opens up. You become receptive to what life brings, instead of exhausted from trying to force what it withholds. Opportunities appear in forms you would never have imagined. People walk into your life who you could never have planned to meet. Paths unfold that no strategy could have designed. This is the mystery of blessings. They flow not through control, but through alignment. And alignment happens when you let go of your insistence and learn to trust the rhythm already moving around you. The illusion of control often keeps people trapped in cycles of disappointment. They set rigid expectations for how things must unfold, and when life does not follow their script, they call it failure. But failure is only measured against the illusion you created in your mind. In truth, life has simply chosen a different road, one that may lead you somewhere far richer than you could see at the time. To let go of control is to release the prison of your expectations and step into the freedom of possibility. Waiting without control may feel uncomfortable at first, because it requires trust. But trust is not blind. It is rooted in the countless times life has carried you, even when you thought you would fall. Every breath you take is proof of a process you cannot control yet rely on. Every sunrise is a reminder that order exists without your effort. Life is not chaos. It is a larger intelligence weaving patterns far beyond your sight. When you catch yourself clinging, forcing, or obsessing, pause and ask, what am I really trying to control? And what if I release this? You will find that letting go does not bring loss, but peace. It creates space for blessings to arrive without resistance. It softens your grip, allowing life to place something far greater in your open hands than what you were trying so desperately to clutch. The illusion of control was never safety. It was a cage. The moment you recognize this, you begin to step into a higher way of living. One where you move with life instead of against it. One where you receive rather than chase. One where blessings do not need to be dragged toward you because they are already flowing, already circling, already waiting, simply for you to let go and allow them to come. The quiet power of allowing is one of the most misunderstood forces in life, because we are conditioned to believe that only effort, striving, and pushing forward can bring us what we want. From childhood, we are told to work harder, to chase, to pursue without pause. Allowing, by contrast, seems passive, almost lazy. Yet if you look closely at the way life itself operates, you will find that allowing is not weakness at all, it is strength in its most refined form. Allowing is not doing nothing. It is creating the space for what is meant for you to flow naturally toward you. It is the art of alignment rather than the art of force. Think of the river. The river does not force itself down the mountain. It flows, winding naturally along its path, adjusting to rocks and curves, never in a hurry but always in motion. And yet with time, it carves valleys, nourishes land, and merges with the ocean. The river achieves everything by allowing its course, by moving with gravity, not against it. There is no desperation in its flow, no panic in its direction. This is the essence of allowing an effortless alignment with the forces already carrying you forward. In contrast, when you resist life, When you demand that things unfold in your timing, in your shape, in your way, you exhaust yourself. You become like someone trying to push the river upstream, angry that it will not flow according to your plan. The result is frustration, bitterness, and burnout. Life was always ready to give, but your resistance created a wall. Allowing is about lowering that wall, about saying yes to the rhythm that is already unfolding, even if it looks different than you expected. Allowing requires deep trust. It asks you to believe that you do not have to force blessings into existence. You only have to align yourself with them. This trust is not naive. It is grounded in the recognition that life has already been sustaining you without your constant control. Your heart beats without your command. Your breath comes and goes without your effort. The seasons change without your approval. All around you, the greatest processes of life are unfolding through allowing, not through force. Why should your blessings be any different? The quiet power of allowing is also a release of desperation. Desperation is loud. It clings, it grasps, it sends out an energy of lack. And lack only creates more emptiness because it tells life, I am not enough, and I need this now to complete me. Allowing, on the other hand, is calm. It does not grasp. It opens. It tells life, I am already whole, and I trust that what belongs to me is on its way. This subtle difference in energy changes everything. People are drawn to those who embody calm trust. Opportunities seem to magnetize toward those who radiate openness rather than desperation. But blessings themselves seem to arrive more easily when you are not frantically chasing them. Allowing is not passivity. It is not sitting idly, waiting for miracles to drop into your lap while you do nothing. True allowing is active alignment. It means you prepare your heart, your mind, and your actions to be in harmony with the blessings you seek, but without trying to dictate the exact shape or timing of their arrival. A gardener who allows does not simply stand over an empty field and wait. He tills the soil, plants the seeds, waters the ground, and then steps back, trusting the sun and the rain to do their work. This is allowing, doing your part, but releasing the obsession with controlling the rest. The quiet power of allowing also teaches us humility. It reminds us that life's wisdom is broader than our perspective. Sometimes what we believe we need is only a fragment of what is truly waiting for us. If we force too much, we may settle for something smaller, missing out on the greater blessing life was preparing. Allowing gives life room to surprise us, to bring opportunities we never imagined, to open doors we did not even know existed. There is also a beauty in the peace that allowing brings. To live in a state of allowing is to live without the constant anxiety of needing to control. You no longer torment yourself with what if and why not yet. Instead, you live in the present moment, knowing that the unfolding is already happening. You give yourself permission to breathe, to rest, to be content even while you wait. That contentment is not stagnation. It is the foundation upon which blessings can land. A restless mind has no room for blessings to enter, but a peaceful one becomes the perfect vessel. Allowing is also a lesson in self-worth. When you allow, you are essentially affirming, I am worthy enough that what is meant for me will find me. It is a statement of confidence in yourself and in the intelligence of life. Those who doubt their worth often feel they must chase, beg, or force, as though blessings would otherwise overlook them. But when you truly recognize your value, you understand that what aligns with you will arrive, not because you demanded it, but because you are naturally a match for it. In the quiet power of allowing, there is freedom. Freedom from the endless race, from the pressure to chase what may not even be right for you, from the weight of expectations. It is stepping into the flow of life rather than battling against it. And when you learn this way of living, you begin to notice that life feels lighter. Blessings come more easily. Doors open more smoothly. Relationships feel less strained. The very energy around you shifts because you are no longer fighting reality, you are flowing with it. The secret is this: allowing is not about waiting for life to hand you something. It is about opening yourself so life can deliver what was already on its way. It is about stepping into harmony rather than conflict. It is about choosing to trust rather than fear. And when you embrace this quiet power, you will see that the blessings you thought you had to chase were always moving toward you. You just needed to step aside and let them arrive. The timing of the universe is something that humbles us all, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not. We plan, we strategize, we set goals, and we believe that if we follow our timeline, life will follow it too. But the universe has its own rhythm, its own clock, one that doesn't bend to our impatience or our demands. And though at first this may frustrate us, the longer we live, the more we realize that life never gives too soon and it never withholds too long. Everything arrives when we are ready, not when we think we are ready. This readiness is the hidden key. Often we say we want something, but beneath the desire, there is fear, insecurity, or unreadiness to carry the weight of what we are asking for. Imagine giving a child the keys to a car simply because they begged for it. Would that be a blessing, or would it be a disaster? In the same way, life withholds certain things until you are strong enough, wise enough, and steady enough to hold them without breaking. What feels like delay is often preparation. The time that frustrates you is the time that shapes you. Think of how the seasons unfold. You cannot demand that spring arrive in the middle of winter. You cannot pull at the soil and force the flowers to bloom. If you try, you destroy them. And yet, when the timing is right, the earth bursts with life effortlessly as if it had been waiting all along. This is the precision of the universe's timing. The same truth applies to blessings. They are planted as seeds long before you see them, but only when the conditions are right do they emerge into your life. The difficulty is that we live in a culture of immediacy. We want everything now. If it doesn't arrive today, we assume something is wrong. We equate waiting with failure, patience with weakness. But the universe does not measure time by our clocks or calendars. It measures by readiness, by alignment, by ripeness. If the fruit is picked too early, it is bitter. If it is left too long, it rots. But when picked at the right moment, it is sweet and nourishing. The universe knows this timing better than we do, and its wisdom is always greater than our impatience. Many of us have prayed or wished for something and felt crushed when it didn't arrive. Yet later, when something far greater came along, we looked back and understood why the earlier door had to remain closed. It wasn't rejection. It was protection. It wasn't denial. It was redirection. Timing has a way of proving again and again that life doesn't withhold to punish us, but to guide us toward what is better than what we first imagined. To trust the timing of the universe is to release the illusion that we know best. It is to acknowledge that our vision is limited while life sees the entire horizon. A delay that feels unbearable today may save you from a mistake tomorrow. An unanswered prayer may create the space for a blessing that would never have fit alongside what you were asking for. Timing weaves these patterns invisibly, and though we may not understand them in the moment, with time we begin to see the perfection in the way everything aligned. But trust does not come easily. It requires letting go of control, letting go of your desperate need to script every chapter. It requires patience in the face of uncertainty. Patience does not mean sitting in despair. It means choosing peace while you wait. It means knowing that every moment is part of the unfolding, that even in silence, something is moving, preparing, aligning. You cannot always see the roots growing beneath the soil, but one day they break through the surface. The timing of the universe also teaches us presence. When we are too focused on the future, we lose the richness of now. We treat the present as a waiting room, as though life only begins when our desires arrive. But life is happening even here, even in the waiting. The preparation itself is sacred. The lessons you are learning, the strength you are building, the relationships you are forming, all of these are part of the blessing to come. When the timing finally clicks, you will see that even the waiting was a gift. To fight the timing of the universe is to live in resistance. To trust, it is to live in flow. When you trust, you no longer feel the need to rush or grasp. You begin to see that what is meant for you is already on its way. You stop fearing that opportunities will pass you by because you understand that what is truly yours cannot be lost. You stop comparing your timeline to others because you recognize that each person's path unfolds uniquely, and rushing only leads you away from your own alignment. There is a peace that comes when you embrace the timing of the universe. You no longer feel behind because you understand there is no race. You no longer feel desperate because you know what is meant for you will arrive. You no longer feel bitter because you see that even delays have purpose. This peace is not resignation, it is empowerment. It allows you to live fully in the present while holding faith for the future. The greatest blessings do not arrive early, and they are never late. They arrive precisely when they are meant to, and when they do, you will see the wisdom in the wait. The timing of the universe may not match the timing of your mind, but it always serves the growth of your soul. And when that moment finally comes, you will realize that the waiting was not wasted. It was the preparation that made you ready to receive something far greater than you once thought possible. The trap of desperation is a subtle but powerful force that quietly shapes the way we think, act, and wait for the blessings we seek. On the surface, desperation feels like intensity, like determination, even like passion. But beneath it, desperation carries a vibration of fear, lack, and restlessness. It convinces us that unless we chase with all our might, unless we hold on with everything we have, the very things we long for will slip away. And yet, the irony is that desperation often pushes away the very blessings we are trying to attract.
It creates resistance rather than flow, scarcity rather than abundance, struggle rather than peace. Think for a moment about how desperation feels in the body.
It is tightness. It is anxiety. It is sleepless nights, constant worry, restless thoughts. It is the belief that if I don't make this happen now, I will lose everything. This energy is not magnetic, it repels. Imagine standing in the presence of someone desperate for your approval or attention. Do you feel drawn to them, or do you instinctively pull away? The same is true with blessings, opportunities, and relationships. Desperation does not attract, it suffocates. Life responds to energy, not merely to words or actions. When your energy is desperate, you signal to life that you do not believe you are whole without what you are chasing. You communicate lack, and lack only brings more lack. This is the trap. The harder you cling, the more empty you feel. The more empty you feel, the harder you cling. It becomes a cycle of endless pursuit, where satisfaction is always just out of reach. Desperation is rooted in the illusion of scarcity. It whispers to you that opportunities are limited, that blessings are rare, that if you do not seize them this very second, you may never have another chance. But the truth is, life is abundant. There is no shortage of opportunities, no shortage of blessings, no shortage of paths that can lead you to what is meant for you. What is truly yours cannot be taken by someone else, nor can it pass you by. Desperation blinds you to this truth, making you believe that you must fight and grasp for what would have been yours anyway if you had simply trusted and allowed. The trap of desperation is also a trap of time. It convinces you that you are running out of it. You begin to believe that you are behind in life, that others are ahead, that if you don't make things happen now, you will be forgotten or left behind. But time is not your enemy, it is your ally. Every delay carries lessons, every pause holds preparation, every waiting season is part of a greater unfolding. Desperation ignores this wisdom and instead creates panic. And panic blinds you from seeing the quiet opportunities already forming around you. To escape the trap of desperation, You must shift from fear to trust. Trust does not mean inaction. It means grounded action. It means doing your part, but not from a place of panic. It means moving toward your goals, but not believing your worth depends on them. It means knowing that blessings are not stolen from you if they take time. They are being shaped to fit you more perfectly. Trust loosens the grip of desperation and replaces it with calm assurance. This shift also requires a deep understanding of your own worth. Desperation often arises from a hidden belief that you are not enough as you are, that you need this relationship, this success, this recognition in order to feel complete. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by what you achieve or who validates you. When you recognize your own wholeness, you no longer chase blessings as if they are oxygen. You invite them, you allow them, but you do not collapse without them. And it is precisely this strength, this calm self-assurance that makes blessings gravitate toward you. Imagine two people, one clinging, begging, trying to force an outcome, radiating fear of loss, the other calm, centered, trusting that what is meant will come, moving steadily but without panic. Who do you think life favors? Who do you think people are drawn toward? Desperation creates tension, while trust creates magnetism. The trap of desperation keeps you locked in tension, while escaping it sets you free to receive. It is also important to see that desperation is not only about the future, it robs you of the present. When you are desperate, you cannot enjoy where you are. Every moment feels like a waiting room. You are not here. You are always there, chasing what's next. You overlook the blessings already in your life because your focus is consumed by what you don't yet have. This blindness feeds the cycle of lack, keeping you stuck in a state of never enough. But when you step out of desperation, presence returns. You begin to notice the small blessings already around you. Gratitude grows, and gratitude itself becomes a magnet for greater blessings. You shift from I need to I already have. And in that shift, life responds by giving you more. The trap of desperation collapses when you realize that you were never lacking in the first place. The truth is simple, but profound. Desperation pushes away while calm trust draws near. If you can let go of the frantic need to control and instead open yourself with patience and gratitude, blessings will find their way to you. The longer you hold what is not meant for you, the more you delay what is. Life cannot give you what you are meant to have if your hands are still full of what you are meant to release. Letting go requires trust. Trust that life is not against you. Trust that if something leaves, it is either making space for something better or teaching you what you need for the journey ahead. Trust that endings are not punishments, but transitions. The more you force, the more resistance you create. The more you trust, the more space you create for miracles to enter. Do not let desperation be the lens through which you live your life. Do not let it steal your peace or blind you to the abundance already flowing around you. Step out of the trap by remembering that you are enough, that life is abundant, and that what is meant for you will come, not through panic, but through patience. Desperation may be loud, but blessings are quiet, and they enter not when you chase them frantically, but when you create the stillness for them to arrive. Becoming receptive is not about sitting idly and waiting for life to deliver everything to your door. It is about aligning yourself in such a way that you are open, aware, and able to receive what is already being offered. Many people live with their hands clenched, minds crowded, and hearts guarded. They think they are prepared for blessings, but in truth, their posture is one of resistance. They want change, but they are unwilling to release old habits. They ask for love, but they cling to bitterness. They pray for abundance, but they entertain thoughts of lack. To become receptive, you must clear the inner clutter that blocks what is already flowing toward you. Receptivity is a state of openness. It is an ability to say, I am ready for what life wants to give me, without demanding that it come in a specific form. Too often, we limit ourselves by imagining how blessing should look. We set conditions, timelines, and rigid expectations, and when life doesn't conform, we assume nothing is happening. But receptivity requires flexibility. A blessing may arrive disguised as a challenge. A new opportunity may come through an unexpected person, or a door may close only to redirect you toward a better one. If your mind is rigid, you will miss these disguised gifts. To be receptive is to let go of control, to release the narrow vision of how it must be, and trust that life has a broader perspective. Becoming receptive also means softening your energy. Think of a clenched fist. It cannot hold anything new. It cannot receive. It only holds tight to what it already has. Many of us live this way emotionally. We cling to old stories, past hurts, outdated beliefs, and familiar fears. And because we hold so tightly, there is no space for new blessings to land. To receive, you must open your hand. You must release the heavy grip on what no longer serves you. This is why letting go and receptivity are so deeply connected. You cannot pour water into a cup that is already full. Receptivity is also about listening. Life is constantly speaking through people, through circumstances, through intuition, through silence. But if you are too distracted, too noisy within, you cannot hear. The answers you seek are often already around you, but your mind's chatter drowns them out. Becoming receptive requires cultivating stillness, creating space for silence, and tuning your awareness to subtle guidance. You begin to see synchronicities, patterns, and signs that were invisible before. What once felt random now feels intentional, because you are finally paying attention. There is a humility in receptivity. It is the recognition that you are not the sole architect of your life. You have power, yes, you take action, you make choices, but there is also a higher intelligence at work. Receptivity acknowledges that you cannot control everything, and that surrender is not weakness but wisdom. When you are receptive, you allow life to partner with you instead of trying to dominate it. You do your part, but you also trust that unseen forces are arranging details on your behalf. This trust creates ease, and ease creates flow. If deep down you do not believe you deserve good things, you will unconsciously block them when they appear. You will sabotage opportunities, dismiss kindness, or doubt your own capabilities. Blessings cannot enter a heart that rejects them. To be receptive, you must believe I am worthy of love, abundance, peace, and joy. This belief is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is recognizing that you are a part of life's abundance, not separate from it. When you step into this worthiness, blessings no longer feel like exceptions, they feel natural. Imagine the sun shining endlessly, offering its light to all. Some people open their windows and let it flood in. Others close their blinds, sit in the dark, and then complain that the sun never shines on them. The sun was always shining. The difference was receptivity. Life is like this too. Blessings are not withheld, but your openness determines how much of them you experience. If you walk through life with fear, doubt, and resistance, you shut the blinds. If you walk with openness, gratitude, and trust, you let the light in. Receptivity is also about gratitude. Gratitude is the language that tells life, I see what you are giving me and I honor it. The more you practice gratitude, the more receptive you become because you are no longer blind to what you already have. Gratitude turns the ordinary into extraordinary and the small into significant. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance, which in turn makes you a magnet for more. To be receptive is to notice blessings in every moment, not just the big ones, but the quiet ones. Breath, health, love, opportunities, growth. Becoming receptive does not mean passivity. It does not mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you take action from a place of alignment, not desperation. It means you prepare your heart clear your mind, and make space so that when blessings arrive, you are not too distracted or too doubtful to recognize them. It means you move forward with faith, not fear, knowing that life has a rhythm and that what is meant for you will not miss you. Receptivity is a practice of openness, trust, and surrender. It is unclenching your fists, opening your heart, and saying yes to life without trying to control every detail. It is choosing presence over panic, gratitude over lack, flexibility over rigidity. And when you live in this state, blessings flow to you naturally, not because you force them, but because you created the space for them to arrive. Letting go is often misunderstood. People think it means giving up, losing, or surrendering in defeat. But in truth, letting go is one of the most powerful acts of preparation for greater blessings. It is not a retreat from life, but an opening to it. When you cling tightly to something, whether it be a relationship, an identity, a plan, or a particular outcome, you create resistance. You are telling life that nothing else is welcome. Yet the moment you release, you create space, and in that space, something far greater can enter. Consider the seasons. Trees do not cling to their leaves when autumn arrives. They let them fall. To the unknowing eye, it may look like loss, like the tree is being stripped bare. But in reality, the falling of leaves is a preparation. By shedding what no longer serves, the tree conserves energy, survives the winter, and makes room for new blossoms when spring arrives. Letting go works the same way for us. What looks like loss is often a necessary clearing for new growth. Many hold on to relationships long past their season. They cling to people who no longer value them, jobs that drain them, or dreams that no longer align with who they are becoming. They fear emptiness, so they grip tighter. But this grip suffocates the soul. It is only when we loosen our attachment to how things should be that we open ourselves to how things could be. Letting go is also an act of humility. It is the recognition that you do not have complete control. You cannot make someone stay. You cannot force outcomes. You cannot bend time to your will. But you can choose your response. You can choose to open your hand instead of closing it. You can choose to walk forward instead of clinging backward. And in that choice, you align yourself with the flow of life instead of fighting against it. Sometimes letting go feels like death, the death of a dream, an identity, or a chapter of life. And in many ways it is. But all death in nature is followed by rebirth. The seed must die before it becomes a tree. The caterpillar must dissolve before it becomes a butterfly. Letting go is that in-between stage, the sacred space where one form ends so another can begin. It is uncomfortable, even painful, but it is never empty of purpose. What we fail to see is that holding on out of fear is what truly weakens us. We think strength is endurance, clinging until the very end. But real strength is the courage to release what is weighing you down. It is the clarity to say, this no longer serves me, and I trust that something greater awaits. When you release in this way, you shift from desperation to empowerment. You reclaim your energy, your time, your peace. And that space you create is precisely where new blessings will enter. Letting go also invites transformation. The person who clings is afraid of change, but the person who lets go is willing to evolve. To release what is familiar is to step into the unknown. It is to trust that even if you cannot see the next step, the ground will appear beneath your feet. In that trust, you grow. You expand beyond the limitations of the past. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and opportunities you never imagined. Gratitude is essential in this process. Instead of viewing letting go as rejection, you begin to see it as redirection. You thank what has left for what it gave you, the lessons, the memories, the growth. Gratitude softens the pain of release and transforms it into a blessing. It teaches you that even loss carries value. And once you embrace that truth, you stop fearing endings. You begin to see them as part of life's rhythm, necessary for your unfolding. Letting go is not losing, it is clearing. It is not failure, it is wisdom. It is not weakness, it is the greatest expression of trust you can embody. By releasing what no longer fits, you declare to life, I am ready, I am open, I believe something greater is on its way. And life always responds to that openness. The blessings you are meant to receive cannot reach you if your heart, mind, and hands are already occupied with what has expired. But when you let go, you shift from scarcity to abundance. You stop chasing and start allowing. You move with the rhythm of life instead of resisting it. And then, without struggle, the greater blessings that were always waiting for you finally find their way into your life. Gratitude is not just a polite response or a fleeting feeling when life gives us something pleasant. It is a state of being, a way of perceiving the world that transforms everything it touches. To live in gratitude is to recognize that blessings are not rare events to be chased, but constant streams to be noticed. It shifts the way we experience waiting, struggle, and even loss. Gratitude does not magically erase pain, but it turns pain into preparation. It does not eliminate the waiting, but it makes the waiting meaningful. And in this way, gratitude becomes a magnet. It draws more blessings into your life because it teaches you how to receive them fully. Most people live in a state of lack. They wake up thinking about what they don't have, who they've lost, what hasn't happened yet. Their attention is focused on absence, and absence multiplies. But when you begin to notice the small gifts, the breath you're taking, the sunlight through the window, the lesson hidden in yesterday's challenge, you rewire your perception. Instead of scarcity, you see abundance. Instead of waiting for happiness to arrive, you realize it's already here in pieces scattered across your day. Gratitude gathers those pieces and creates a picture of wholeness. There is a profound energy in gratitude. It softens the heart and quiets the restless mind. When you are grateful, you are not in resistance, you are in acceptance. You are no longer demanding life to look a certain way. You are appreciating the way it already is. And this appreciation creates an openness, a receptivity. Life responds to this openness because it is free of desperation. A grateful heart does not clutch or grasp, it radiates. And what radiates attracts. Blessings find their way more easily to those who live in gratitude because those individuals are prepared to recognize them when they arrive. Think of someone who is constantly complaining, always finding fault, always seeing the negative. Even when something good happens, they dismiss it, minimize it, or move on too quickly to notice. Such a person may receive blessings, but never feels them, never honors them, never multiplies them. Gratitude is what multiplies blessings. It takes a single gift and magnifies it into abundance. Without gratitude, even great fortune feels empty. With gratitude, even small moments feel rich. Waiting without gratitude feels like suffering. You watch the clock, you grow impatient, you compare yourself to others, you live in frustration. But waiting with gratitude is different. You begin to see the waiting as part of the blessing itself. You see how the delays give you time to prepare, to grow, to refine your desires. You realize that what you already have is enough to sustain you until what you long for arrives. Gratitude transforms impatience into patience. And patience is the soil in which greater blessings grow. Gratitude also rewires the stories you tell yourself. Without it, you focus on how life has hurt you, on what has been taken away. With it, you begin to see how those very moments shaped you, how they carried hidden lessons, how they pushed you towards strength you would not have otherwise discovered. Gratitude does not deny pain. It honors it by extracting meaning from it. And when you live this way, life feels less like a series of random events and more like a tapestry woven with purpose. Gratitude opens the heart to the present moment. Most people are chasing the future or clinging to the past, but gratitude roots you in the now. And the now is where life unfolds. The blessings you are waiting for will always arrive in the present. never in your mental projections of tomorrow. When you are grounded in gratitude, you meet life where it is happening, and you are awake enough to notice what others overlook. There is also a humility in gratitude. It is the recognition that you are not the sole author of your blessings. It honors the countless forces, seen and unseen, that bring good into your life. Gratitude acknowledges that you are part of a larger flow, and that acknowledgement deepens your connection to it. Instead of living in isolation, you feel supported, carried, guided. And this sense of being supported expands your trust, which in turn allows you to receive even more. Gratitude can be practiced. It is not reserved for those whose lives appear perfect. In fact, those who cultivate gratitude in difficulty often experience its power most profoundly. Begin with what is small. Notice the comfort of your breath, the strength in your body, the lessons in your struggles. Write them down, speak them aloud, hold them in your heart. The more you practice, the more your vision changes. What once seemed insignificant now shines with meaning. What once felt ordinary now glows with wonder. Over time, gratitude becomes your natural state. You no longer need extraordinary events to feel blessed. You feel blessed simply to be alive. And when you live in this state, blessings flow to you more naturally because you are tuned to receive them. You are no longer chasing, no longer demanding, you are allowing. Life recognizes this openness and responds with generosity. Gratitude is the magnet that draws greater blessings, not because it manipulates life, but because it aligns you with the truth that blessings are already here. And as you live in this truth, more and more will come, not to fill a void, but to expand the abundance you already carry within. Life has a rhythm, a flow, a timing that is often invisible to us while we are in the middle of waiting. We measure everything by our clocks, our calendars, our expectations, and we grow restless when what we desire does not arrive when we demand it. But the truth is that blessings have their own schedule, one that is not set by our impatience, but by the deeper unfolding of life. The promise of greater blessings is not that they will come exactly when you want them, but that they will come when you are ready. They are not withheld out of cruelty, but delayed out of wisdom. The unfolding promise is this: everything you are meant to have will arrive at the exact moment it can serve your growth and expansion. Too soon, and you would not recognize it, or you would mishandle it. Too late, and you might lose hope. But life does not work on too soon or too late. Life works on right on time. When you look back, you often see this clearly. You see how what once felt like a setback was actually a setup. You see how a door that closed was not rejection, but redirection. What felt unbearable at the time later revealed itself as a hidden blessing. The mind struggles with this because it wants certainty, it wants control, it wants to know the exact day, the exact form, the exact person through which a blessing will come. But life rarely reveals its secrets in advance. The unfolding is gradual, like the rising of the sun. You cannot force dawn to arrive faster by pulling at the horizon. All you can do is trust that the light is coming and prepare yourself to meet it. In the same way, blessings come gradually, and their approach is often invisible until suddenly the light breaks and everything is illuminated. The promise of greater blessings also carries with it responsibility. To receive what you are destined for, you must become someone capable of holding it. If you ask for love, you must cultivate self-love so you can recognize healthy love when it arrives. If you ask for abundance, you must learn discipline and stewardship so that abundance does not slip through your fingers. If you ask for peace, you must face the chaos within you that resists it. Life does not withhold blessings, it prepares you for them. The waiting, the struggles, the challenges, all of these are part of your readiness. It is easy to doubt in the silence. It is easy to believe that nothing is happening, that life has forgotten you. But silence is not emptiness. It is gestation. A seed planted beneath the soil appears inactive, yet within it, invisible forces are at work. Roots are forming, strength is building, the unseen is preparing for the seen. When at last the sprout emerges, you realize that all the time in darkness was not wasted but necessary. The same is true for you. Your blessings may still be underground, but that does not mean they are not growing. To trust in the unfolding promise is to let go of rushing. Rushing does not make blessings arrive sooner. It only robs you of peace in the meantime. Impatience is born of fear, the fear that what you hope for will never come. But trust replaces fear with calm assurance. Trust says, what is mine is already on its way. Trust does not mean passivity. You still act, you still prepare, but you do so from alignment rather than desperation. You build the life, the habits, the mindset that can hold what is coming, and in doing so, you meet your blessings halfway. The unfolding promise also teaches us that greater blessings often come in forms we did not expect. You may ask for one thing and receive another, only to realize later that what you received was far more fitting than what you asked for. Life sees beyond your limited view. Where you see a single possibility, life sees countless. Where you see only what you want, life knows what you need. The promise is not that you will always get exactly what you ask for, but that you will always receive what is meant to elevate you. There is freedom in this perspective. When you stop demanding that life meet your exact blueprint, you open yourself to possibilities you could not imagine. You stop resisting the path as it unfolds and start walking it with curiosity. You begin to see that even detours are part of the journey, even delays are purposeful, even losses are openings. Nothing is wasted in the unfolding, because all of it is shaping you for what is yet to come. Gratitude sustains you in this unfolding. It reminds you that even as you wait for greater blessings, you are already surrounded by countless smaller ones. It prevents you from living in a state of lack and keeps your spirit aligned with abundance. Gratitude transforms waiting into receiving, because when you can honor what is here now, you are already living in blessing. And from this state, greater blessings flow naturally. The unfolding promise is not fragile. It does not depend on luck, chance, or fleeting circumstances. It is woven into the very fabric of your life. What is meant for you cannot be stolen, cannot be missed, cannot be permanently delayed. It will arrive, but only when you are ready, and only when it can truly serve you. Until then, trust the rhythm. Trust the silence. Trust the unfolding. Because greater blessings are not just coming, they are already on their way. Greater blessings have always been closer than you think. They are not somewhere far away, waiting for you to exhaust yourself in the chase. They are woven into the unfolding of your life, waiting for the moment you finally step into alignment with them. Every struggle you endured, every silence you misinterpreted as neglect, every closed door that left you in doubt, none of it was wasted. It was shaping you, preparing you, refining you so that when the blessing arrived, you would not only recognize it, but be strong enough to carry it. The illusion has always been that you must chase, that if you do not force life into your hands, you will be left behind. But the truth is softer, simpler, and far more profound. What is meant for you cannot be stolen. It cannot miss you. It arrives at the exact moment when you are ready. The waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. The letting go is not loss, it is clearing space. The patience is not weakness, it is proof of trust. And gratitude is the key that keeps your heart open as life's timing unfolds. If you look deeply, you'll see that the blessings you've already received were once things you doubted would ever come. You once prayed for what you now take for granted. You once feared you would never overcome the very struggles that are now your strength. This is the pattern of life. It withholds not to deprive you, but to ripen you, to ready you for the weight of what is coming. Let go of desperation. Let go of timelines that suffocate you. Let go of the illusion that you must control every detail. Instead, trust the rhythm of life. Trust the unseen preparation happening beneath the surface. Trust that greater blessings are already circling your path, waiting for the moment you are aligned enough to receive them. And when they arrive, you will not need to force them, for they will feel natural, inevitable, as though they were always meant to be yours. You will realize that nothing was delayed. It was always right on time. The closed doors, the long nights, the unanswered prayers, all of them were chapters leading you here. Greater blessings await, and they will come, not through striving, not through fear, not through desperate grasping, but through trust, patience, openness, and gratitude. Prepare your heart, keep your spirit open, and walk with faith. Life has not forgotten you. The blessing is already on its way.